Hi, I'm Diane Marie Collins, and I'm visiting today with master artist Hazel Barry. Welcome, Hazel.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here with you today, DM.
Let's talk a little bit about your career. You were a stay-at-home mom, and then you evidently felt this drive for art, but it was painting that really drew you. Give me a little story about that.
Well, I had 3 kids in the back of the car. It was in the 70s, 3 little kids, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I saw a sign for oil painting classes, and I went around the block and wrote down the number and signed up, and it stuck. It stuck. It just took off from there.
And then you had a period in your life, you started painting Native American children.
Yes.
And portraits, and did quite a lot of success with that.
Yes, I did. I had quite a bit of success, actually. I exhibited in 3 or 4 states and several national Western art shows at that time.
Well, your painting is lovely from that period. Then you had a decade of hiatus that you were, for different reasons. Now you're back. How exciting is that?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And during that hiatus, I was doing other things, pursuing other careers, interior design. And it was during that period, I always knew I'd be back to art someday, but I didn't live near Indian children, Indian tribes. I didn't live near the wilderness where the ducks and geese and elk and roam anymore. And I thought, what am I going to paint? You know, when I paint again, what am I going to paint?
What will your subjects be?
Yes, and I knew it had to move me. It had to be something that was around me. And I walked out. I was downtown Scottsdale, enjoying the Thursday night art walk, and I looked across the street, and in the front window there was a huge, huge painting of a single rose by Ed Mell. And it just stopped me in my tracks, and I said, that's it.
Single flowers.
Big.
Big.
Yeah.
Big single flowers.
I started small and they grew.
Flowers do that sometimes. Well, they are incredible. Now, a little bit about your technique, where we talk about, I know you have several steps. You prepare the canvas, and then you start, but you do something that to me is unique. You start with an acrylic underpainting.
I do.
A little bit about that.
And that kind of grew. Didn't in the beginning, but I learn a lot by reading. I've never had formal training other than those first.
You had those classes.
Yeah, first few lessons years ago. And so I learn a lot by reading about other artists and how they go about it, and I sample this and I try that and maybe take, maybe combine different things, what works for me. And along the way, I learned that I do an underpainting of black and white, and it's called a grisaille. The old masters painted that way, most of them. And I thought, if I do that in acrylic, I can kind of set the roadmap and get the realism going in the painting. And
it also offers a real benefit for you from what I've read about what you do, is that it covers the graphite drawing that you start with on your canvas.
It does, because there's always graphite, and it eventually can come up through the oil.
So you're done with your underpainting, you've done your black and white, and then you start with the oil. But you use a unique oil. You're not using a heavy paste oil.
I use transparent oils mostly. Yeah, most oils are transparent, but there's a lot of earth colors, the cadmium colors, that are opaque, and they don't lend themselves well to transparent painting. If I'm going to use them at all, they need to go under. This painting is nearing completion. I am just now beginning to layer in the transparent colors. And from this point, it looks like the rose is a yellow rose. It is not. It's actually a rose that has red, hot pink, orange, and where the sun hits it, yellow. But by getting the yellow underneath, it makes that rose kissed with sunlight, so to speak. So that's the last step on this painting. Well, the next to the last step, because there will be water drops on these leaves. This title of this painting is In the Rose Garden. Well, it must have rained last night because there are some water drops that I want to put in here. And that will be like the icing on the cake.
Another exciting aspect for your career is that you are a newly inducted member of ASTA, the American Society of Traditional Artists. They have 7 living masters members, and there are only 40 living masters in the world, so it's a pretty exclusive group that you've been invited to. Tell me, what does that mean to you for your career?
It's just, I'm just speechless.
I can tell.
I am so honored. I've been working towards something like this for so long, thinking it may never happen, and it's happened.
How
and
wonderful.
It's by invitation only.
Yes,
Somebody
and you are
saw the
preparing for their
quality.
new show?
Yes, it's in January, and I'm working right now madly on 4 paintings at the same time, and I can exhibit up to 6.
Well, your painting, your artwork deserves to be in that group, believe me.
Thank you, thank you. There's, by being in this show, there's various shows that will open up to me to exhibit, and catalogs, and
Just a whole new world.
yeah, it's most exciting for me.
Well, we're so pleased for you. Thank you for taking time to visit with me.
Yes, thank you.